What's up everybody? So I've been hearing a lot of complaints about PvP on why they don't like it. And if you are struggling with PvP, stay tuned for the video because I'm gonna go over my top 10 tips and tricks to help you level up your PvP game and save you some Stardust. Before we get started, if you're new to my channel, my name is Tong, aka The Last Hot Sauce. I do all the things relating to Pokemon Go tips, tricks, and news, so subscribe so you don't miss anything. Now let's get started. So start off with number 1 is hidden charge bar. Now in raid battles and gym battles, you're able to see if your Pokemon has 3 bars, 2 bars, or 1. But in PvP, you don't see a bar at all. However, if your Pokemon's charge attack is like a 3 or 2 bar move, you can check it out by swiping to the left side of each Pokemon and you can see the PvP stats, if it's a 2 bar, 1 bar, or 3 bar. So if your Pokemon has a double charge move, even if you don't see the extra bar going up, you can charge your attack beyond it. You just have to guess on like how much energy you have left to set a second charge move or not. But just to let you guys know, there's a hidden bar move. Hopefully the answer will have some kind of indication later on to show that you have charged up 2 bars for PvP. Tip number 2, farming energy. So there's a method of using your attack without knocking out your Pokemon, and that is by not tapping as fast, so you can get like 1 ring or 2 rings instead of 3 ring, because 3 ring indicates that you're going to use its maximum damage to your opponent's Pokemon. If you're in a situation where you're not taking that much damage because your Pokemon is super resistant towards whatever Pokemon, a good example of this is Bastodon. If you're going against an Altaria, using Stone Edge will definitely knock out your Altaria if you tap fast enough to activate its maximum damage. But instead of knocking out the Altaria right away, you can tap a little bit slower to hit like 1 ring or 2 rings. That way you do damage for your charge move without wasting the energy, and then you can keep on attacking Altaria to farm up more energy. By the time you knock out Altaria, you have a nice charge bar ready for whatever Pokemon is coming your way. Moving on to tip number 3, shield baiting. Shield baiting is, well, it is what it is, to make your opponent use a shield. You can do this by activating your charge move that requires less energy. That way you don't spend all your energy that you have farmed for a charge move that requires a lot of energy. A good example of this is to use a Lapras. Now between Surf and Ice Beam is definitely going to be what you want to use if you're fighting like an Altaria, just to give another example. However, Surf requires a lot less energy, and you can trick your opponent by activating Surf, making them use a shield. And because you didn't use all your energy for one Ice Beam that they were going to block, it could be the last shield, and then you can use Ice Beam to knock out your opponent's Altaria. This example works for a number of different types of Pokemon, but you gotta make sure that you have 2 types of charge move. Moving on to saving you some Stardust. If you haven't noticed by now, baby Pokemon cost less to add an additional charge move. A Munchlax is about 10,000 Stardust, but when you evolve it to a Snorlax, it costs 75,000 Stardust. Right? Make sure you get your additional moveset attached to your baby Pokemon before you evolve it. So this next tip will also save you some Stardust. Instead of finding like 100% Pokemon that is like a very low level, like say if it's like a 14 CP Pokemon, and you have to use a lot of Stardust and candy to power it up. So basically what you want to do is you want to go to a nest and catch whatever Pokemon, and you want to check it with Pokegenie or Pokecalculator or any kind of third-party IV checker, that when you evolve it, it's going to reach the closest CP limit for whatever league you're trying to enter. So for me, I want to get around 1500 CP for Great League. So I found a Chinchou that when I evolve to a Lantern, it's going to be like around 14 something. That's going to save me a lot of Stardust. I think this is very important for people who are not too familiar with PvP right now, and there's a lot more to dive into IVs. But if you're just starting off and you don't want to blow a lot of Stardust and candy, just go find a nest and find whatever Pokemon, or trade your friends to have a Pokemon that CP close to the CP cap. This next tip is kind of like, I feel like it's a glitch, and I hope Niantic patches up later on. But for PvP, as soon as you see an avatar throw a Pokeball, before you see a Pokemon even being shown on the battlefield, any kind of attack can be activated. So as soon as you see some kind of animation of an avatar throwing a Pokeball, start tapping right away to make sure you do damage, or you get to activate your charge move before your opponent. Right, and next up, if you're a casual player like myself and you don't pay attention to typing, definitely pay attention to typing. I focus on dual type, and a lot of PvP players are going to focus on dual type Pokemon because a lot of dual type have a long list of resistant type and very few weakness. Here are some examples. You guys can look it up yourself, but just example of Skarmory is resistant to like 10 different types of Pokemon, and only weakness is fire and electric. So by knowing which dual type Pokemon has a long list of resistance and very few weakness is going to give you a huge advantage in your next PvP battle. So next up is to save a charge move and switch out your Pokemon. If you have a devastating charge move like say, Fire Blast or Frenzy Plant or Shadow Ball, if you know your opponent has a shield, instead of wasting your energy and your Pokemon is about to faint, you can switch it out. That way you can use another Pokemon to take down your opponent's shield. And once your opponent has no more shield, you can switch out your Pokemon back in to do a devastating blow. And on a notion of switching out, it gives you about 10 to 12 seconds to choose which one to use. Now the switch cooldown timer is about 50 seconds. So instead of if you're in a tight predicament where your opponent switches out to something that you're weak against, right? Instead of having to survive 10 or 12 more seconds, which does mean a lot in PvP, you can wait down the timer until 1 second and press something else. So that way you can save yourself damage time and run down the clock for switching out. And by doing this, it could mean the difference between winning a round and losing a round. It's seriously so close, and every single little micro decisions that you do will affect your PvP outcome. Right, next up is the most complicated part I think about this, is to find which Pokemon is right for you as far as IV. Now I've done a whole video on 100% versus 0%, and if you guys want to see the whole video, you guys can check it out right here. It's very interesting. Make sure you watch the whole thing because a lot of trigger people, it saw something they didn't like, and before they finish the entire process of me testing out everything, they kind of just commented. So make sure you watch the whole video. What's up you guys? So let me clarify a little bit more about IVs and how it affects PvP in Pokemon Go. So every Pokemon at 100% is 15 attack, 15 defense, and 15 stamina. Attack affects the CP increase the most. So every time you press power up, if you have a 15 attack Pokemon, it's going to jump up really high. And that's good for raid battles and gym battles, but for PvP you want to have it closest to the CP cap, as well as have more opportunities to power Pokemon before reaching the CP cap. So by having more opportunities to power it up, you're going to increase your health without reaching the CP cap right away. And this kind of rule, you want to have for third evolutions, Pokemon that are well above 1500 CP, like a Charizard or a Dragonite, you want to focus on having around near zero attack. For single evolves or for Pokemon that you're not going to evolve, that rule doesn't really apply, and you can play around with third-party IV checkers. So what I got right here is IV calculator, and let's just play around with it a little bit. So let's start off with Bulbasaur because I got Bulbasaur on my screen. This is 100% Bulbasaur. If I max it out, right, it's at 1115. That means that this rule doesn't apply to it. But let's go with Venusaur. Venusaur. So how do I get this below 1500? Well, I can decrease the level right there. Let's try to get this down without decreasing the HP. So what I want to do is I want to just take it down so I can have the Venusaur at say 1215, right? Let's see if I touch this. Okay, it goes down a little bit without affecting the HP. Let's see if it can go down a little bit more, and then let's see if I play around with the attack. Can I get above? Nope, I can't get right there. So if I can get up to 1500. Oh, got 1497 right there. Let's try to take it down right there. Nope, okay, I don't want to decrease the HP. That's pretty much the main point. Let's go right there and right there. Nope. Okay, let's go right there and nope. Okay. Let's try again and right there. Let's see if I can bring this down a little bit and increase it. Nope. Okay, let's try to bring that down again. Okay. Nope. Hey, look at that. So my HP now is at 125, but my defense is at 10. And it's only 2 CP lower than having a 15 attack. So this is more important right here than having a 15 attack and higher IVs. This is just a prime example of what you want to focus on. So I have a Lapras here, and HP is at 178 and CP is at 1433. Let's try to get this up to 1500 as close as possible. Okay, right there. Increase it to level 22, and let's see, get it down below 1500. Okay, 1497. That's pretty good right there. That's pretty close. Let's see if I can get it even. So, okay, let's get to 185 now. So, we go. So with Lapras, sometimes you want to focus, like you want to get defense real low right there. So HP can be at 185, attack can be at 0, and defense can be at 1. Let's do one more. So let's decrease the defense real fast. Try to get it down below 1500. There we go. So I have a 7 defense, 15 stamina. Let's try to decrease it a little more and increase it, so I want to get a higher HP. Okay, and let's see. Right there, 1498. Let's see, I wonder if I can. No, I don't want to see. So the main point is for me, in my opinion, is I want to have as much HP, and I'll sacrifice 2 CP for Great League for Altaria. So this is what I want to be at. But you know, this is to give you guys a good example on how much you can play around with the IV. And like I said, attack will bump up CP the most. Just to let you guys know, something to pay attention to, and I hope this helps you guys. Leave your comments down below. I know it's a little complicated, but definitely download a third-party app that you don't have to sign in your IGN with, because that's when you get in trouble. Alright, back to the video. Alright, so here's the last tip for the video. If you do not know how to read the PvP stats, learn how to read it. And you have to know the difference between DPS and DPT. DPS is regarding to gym battles and raid battles, damage per second. And DPT is PvP. For gym battles and raid battles, energy is converted to your charge move by doing damage to your opponent and by taking damage. For PvP, energy is only converted in PvP by doing damage to your opponent. I did a whole video on reading the charts. If you guys have any questions about it, you guys can check out this full video. I try to make it as clear as possible so you guys can understand it. Alright guys, thanks for watching my video. If this video helps you out, definitely hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, comment below if you have any additional strategies that you found that worked out very well. Good luck you guys, and I hope all my tips will help you win the next training battle. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.